Hi, I'm Shannon Rollins with Shannon Rollins Real Estate, and today I would like to discuss the steps that are taken in the closing process. I sometimes get asked, once a house goes under contract, why does it take so long to get to the closing table? What does a closing attorney really do for me? And if I'm selling my home, why is this attorney asking me where am I moving? Well, in order to answer these questions, let's take a look at the closing process. The first step in the closing process is once the house goes under contract, we send all of the documents to the closing attorney. The closing attorney reviews the documents to identify the closing date, termination date possibility, due diligence dates, and who is paying what according to the terms of the contract. Who is paying the closing costs, who is paying the HOA dues, taxes, proration, all that information is identified when he reviews the contract. The second step is he needs to gather the necessary information in order to close out the process. So he's going to need the legal names, he's going to need social security numbers and addresses of everybody involved. Why does he need the address for the seller if they're moving out of the area? Because he needs to be able to mail the documents to the seller after closing, after everything has been recorded. The third step in the process is balancing. They need to identify all the payments that have been made, any bank fees, taxes that have been paid. They need to be sure everything's balanced before they could go to closing and everything is accounted for. The next step then is title review. They need to review everybody that has interest in this property and to be sure the correct people are selling it and that there's not any title defects on the property. And if there are, they need to start working to get those corrected well in advance of when closing might take place. The next step then is the closing table. They need to prepare all the documents to go to closing. In our area in South Carolina and Georgia, it must be an attorney that is the closing agent. It cannot be a title company. So they are preparing all the documents. When we go to closing, they're reviewing them with everybody to be sure everything is accounted for. Things could have changed from the time they received the original contract documents to closing, such as you could have negotiated repairs, so those need to be accounted for. There could have been some changes in closing costs that were negotiated in order to offset maybe repairs. So they just need to be sure everything is documented. They reviewed it with the buyer and selling agent, and then review everything with both the clients at closing to be sure everybody has done what they need to do according to the contract. The next step is disbursement. They're the ones that are going to be paying off the mortgage for the seller. They're going to be wiring or giving a check to the seller for the remaining funds. They're also going to be paying the real estate fee commissions that are due to the companies that were representing the buyer and seller. And then the last step, after closing, they're the ones that are recording all the documents with the tax records to be sure everything that is recorded properly, for the public records. So they are going to be sure that the deeds, the mortgages, and any other necessary legal documents are properly recorded. If you have any questions about buying or selling or the closing process, feel free to give me a call, reach out. I'm happy to help you in any way I can. We're on standby 7 days a week, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m., ready to help you take the smoother road to sold.